Hello friends. Oh, that's a bit loud in the background, isn't it? Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. And a video that I'm so excited to film, and it's the first time I have done this. So I'm feeling very excited because I'm going to do a reading vlog. Now, I read all the time, especially as I am breastfeeding, but I've never done a reading vlog. I have been watching so many booktubers lately, and I just feel like I'm so obsessed with books and talking about books and reading books, and this will not be like a 24-hour readathon or anything like that. I'm just going to bring you along this week whilst I read and tell you what I'm thinking about the books I'm reading, because I'm reading quite a few at the moment. And I have a few that I would like to start. Like my TBR is just insane at the moment. So I thought I would talk you through what I'm reading, what I plan on reading, and my daughter just woke up. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Of course she just woke up. I'm gonna try and make this initial intro quick. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kirsty. I'm 26. I live in Adelaide with my little family, which is my 8-week-old daughter Marley, or 9 weeks old, my toddler Harper, and my husband Hayden, and our Australian Kelpie dog Ziggy. Now generally I just vlog my life every week, and then I add in a few extra videos here and there where I can, which is anything regarding books, motherhood, fitness, my postpartum journey, all of those sorts of things. So if any of that interests you, feel free to subscribe. I upload every week, and I'm just obsessed with YouTube. So the book I'm currently reading right this moment is Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, which is the second book in the Magnolia Parks series. Now if you heard my last reading wrap up, you'll know that I don't know what I would rate Magnolia Parks, the initial book, because it's like so controversial. I love it, I hate it at the same time. I am, however, hooked, and I'm now reading Daisy Hates. So we will see how I go with this. I'm about 20 pages in. I just started it, bless you, when I was breastfeeding my last feed. So we will see what I think about this, and that will determine, I think, if I read the next two by her. If you don't know anything about the Magnolia Parks series, it is basically Gossip Girl in London, is how I would describe it and how everyone sort of describes it. It is rich people drama. People are doing all sorts, going to club parties and have the tabloids following them, and it's just very dramatic. The first book was about Magnolia and BJ, and then this one is about Daisy Hates and her love interests and her life and all of that. I don't really know where the story is going to go at the moment, but yeah, basically like London socialites, rich people, everyone sort of knows who they are, and yeah, it's super toxic basically. Like all the relationships are really toxic, all the people are kind of not very nice, and it's like terrible but also weirdly addictive. A little bit like Chuck and Blair in that aspect that like you would never want to aspire to be like these people, but you also can't help watching these people. The next book I'm currently reading is Coach by Devney Perry. Now this is the first book in her new Treasure State Wildcats series. So it was originally going to be a standalone, and now she is making it a series, and this is a book about Millie and Ford, and there is a single dad trope. It's small town romance, as all of Devney Perry's books are. He has moved back to the small town that they went to college, and he is coaching the college football team after being in the NFL, and he returns and realizes that Millie is working there as well. They were best friends in college and then sort of had a incident, and then they haven't spoken for like 8 years or something, or 10 years, I can't really remember. But I am 35% through that and really enjoying it so far. I'm also reading Addicted for Now, which is the third book in the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series. I would love to get this finished. I'm about 35% through this as well. I just kind of want to get to like the next book and like see the next couple's storylines, because the first 3 books are all about Lily and Lo, which I am very much enjoying, but currently I feel like there's not much of a storyline happening. But if you don't know about the Addicted/Calloway Sisters series, it's kind of similar to like Magnolia Parks in the way that it's like rich people drama. So the first 3 books, as I said, all center around Lily and Lo. They both have some addictions and things that they sort of need to figure out. It starts with a fake dating trope and things progress from there. I don't want to give away too much because it's the 3rd book in a series, and you know, I don't want to ruin the 3rd book if you haven't read the first, but I do highly recommend the series. I flew through the first 2 books, and this one is taking me longer already, so we will see how I go, but I would love to finish that in the next week or so. I'm also halfway through A Court of Thorns and Roses, and now I kind of did a little bit of a soft DNF on this like 6 months ago, I feel like. Maybe not that long ago, but a few months ago I was reading it and then I just sort of stopped. So my aim is to finish that soon as well and just smash through it and see if I can get into it. Everyone says that the halfway mark is where you then figure out like what is happening and you then fall in love with everything. So I'm hoping that I hit that any day now and sort of give that a bit of a read and enjoy that. So that is 4 books that I'm currently like reading. And then I also would love to start the second book in the Lark Cove series by Devney Perry. Hello, Ziggy. Hello. So if you keep up with my vlogs, you'll know that last week I read Tattered, which is the first book in the Lark Cove series by Devney Perry. And I honestly flew through it in like a day. I was obsessed. I don't know, I just loved it. And I've really loved the Calamity Montana series and I've really loved the Eden series, but this was just even better. And I gave it a 5-star. And so I would love to start the second one in that series. I can't even remember what it's called. I get confused with her book series because they often have very similar names. So yeah, the first one was Tattered. The second one is Timid. So I would love to start that soon. It is on my Kindle ready to go as well. So yeah, heaps of books that I'm wanting to read, wanting to get through, and I just figured I would film and talk about them as I go and bring you guys along. So I hope you enjoy. But right this moment, I'm gonna go get my toddler out of bed because she is awake, but I will read some more very shortly. Okay, it's been like an hour since I probably last spoke to you, but I've only done like 15 minutes worth of reading and I'm on Daisy Hates at the moment. So I'm like very, very early on. I'm only on page 25, but I'm already kind of enjoying it better than Magnolia Parks because A, she does not comment on what everyone's wearing, which I'm loving because that just really irked me in Magnolia Parks because I don't understand designer brands or anything. I'm also enjoying their talking like about Magnolia and BJ and it's from other people's perspectives. So enjoying it so far. Harper is having a play in the garden and Marley is asleep. So whilst I finish my coffee, I'm going to keep reading. A car. That is a car. Well done. Good job! The reality of reading whilst also having a toddler run around is like half being in the book but also going, good job. Yeah, cool, good job. But she's having time of her life, so it's fine. Well done, darling. It is the next day. I'm having my lunch. I thought I would give you a reading update because I read a bit last night. Last night I read a little bit of Addicted for Now yesterday, and then last night I read some of Coach because I feel like Coach is like easy romance to read before bed and I'm enjoying it. I think I'm like halfway through. And then today I have been reading A Court of Thorns and Roses and I think I might be getting to the stage where it's about to get good. I'm at 57%. So I've read like a decent chunk of this book and I feel like I'm only just invested now, but hopefully I'm going to try and push through this afternoon and see if I can like get a big chunk read and see if it ends up being something that I'm into because I would love to get into fantasy a bit more and have like another genre that I enjoy because I generally read romance or like self-development books and I just feel like I need more variety. I do like a bit of a thriller but I'm a bit of a scaredy cat so they don't always get me, and I do like mysteries but only really YA mysteries because I don't think I'm like smart enough for an adult mystery. YA mystery, yes please, but adult mystery I think I would struggle to keep up with. Fantasy would be amazing if I could like enjoy fantasy, so if I happen to start enjoying this then maybe this will be my gateway to fantasy and I can read the whole series and that would be amazing, but we shall see. I am finally feeling like it's getting good, which is nice. Yeah, I'm just listening to some reading vlogs at the moment of other people and doing housework and stuff, so nothing overly exciting, but I will try and read some more of this shortly. Fingers crossed I end up loving it because I would love to get into like a whole nother genre because I know that then the fantasy world just opens up so many opportunities for books and series and stuff. So we shall see if I end up becoming a fantasy reader. was very correct in the fact that 58% suddenly has gotten really good. I'm severely invested now. On page 244. I need to buy the box set. I just saw on Amazon that the box set is half price and you can get all 5 books. Is there only 5 in the season? I don't know, that's what the box set was. For $50. So look, I'm tempted. I'm gonna have a lot of voice notes to send Rachel when I go out for my walk. Sometimes I forget that it's kind of inappropriate for me to be walking around just in a bra, but I'm a breastfeeding mother, so it's how I am most of the time. Siggy, out. Okay, we are back in the garden and I'm here for a reading update. I have been reading Coach for the last couple of sittings that I've been reading. I am now 78% through, 366 pages, and I kind of don't like Ford. So I don't want to give any spoilers away, but Coach is, I'll give a bit of a synopsis. Ford and Millie were high school best friends, and they shared one kiss when they were in college, I guess. They were college best friends. They shared one kiss and then he went away and she went away and they basically didn't talk for 10 years, and then they have come back together, and there's obviously this connection, but there's all this stuff that had gone on in between. But he does this thing where he calls he's really all this ownership over her, and it's my least favorite thing in a man is to be she's mine, you can't kiss anyone else, you're mine. I don't know, it's just really, it's a big ick for me, and so it's kind of putting me off him a little bit. And yeah, almost 80% I'm ugh, I don't really like you. And yeah, I don't know, he just has this attitude about him. And one thing, in all of Devney Perry's books, they all swear a lot, which I'm I find quite unnecessary in books, but whatever, that's irrelevant. Other than that, I'm really loving the story and where it's going. It's quite predictable, all of her books are kind of predictable, but I think this is my least favourite of hers that I've read so far, which sucks because it's a brand new book and you'd think they would just get better and better, but I do think this is so far my least favourite Devney Perry book, which is so sad. But I think for now I'm going to switch back to A Court of Thorns and Roses. Both the girls are asleep. Hayden's inside in case Marley wakes up. I'm at 61% through A Court of Thorns and Roses now. And yeah, it's getting good. So I'm on page 262 and I am enjoying it. So hopefully that continues. Fingers crossed. 20 past 2, so I'm hoping I can get at least half an hour in, but who bloody knows with children. We shall see. But it's nice to just I wanted to sit outside. I just went for a walk and then I was okay, I want to sit outside and read for a bit before I'm needed by my babies again. Hello, I hope you're doing well. I just felt like sending you a quick message. Just sent Rachel an update. Hot mess right this minute, but I just need to talk about these books. I also am 99% sure I'm getting sick, so that's just lovely. I have officially and finally finished ACOTAR, and I definitely can't rate it a 5-star because literally the first half took me forever to get into, and I didn't really know what was happening. But I think maybe if I did a reread it would be better, if that makes sense. If I read it again knowing what I know now, it would all make a lot more sense. But I did thoroughly enjoy, and I'm going to read the next one. Wow, I'm so sorry, my voice has really gotten sick sounding. I really enjoyed it. It got really action packed at the end. There was then I feel the last 100 pages so much happened and it was so exciting and so interesting, and I love little plot twists. And yeah, I ended up really enjoying it. So if you have not read any fantasy, I highly recommend. I don't know if I ever explained what ACOTAR is about, but if you do not know the story of A Court of Thorns and Roses, I'll be surprised, to be honest, because I feel everyone and their mum has read it. But ACOTAR is about a girl called Farah, and she is the provider for her family. Kind of gives Katniss Everdeen, she's the one hunting, she's the one providing for her family because her family no longer have money. And one day she gets in an altercation with a fairy, not spelt not like Tinkerbell, but it's confusing. studying how to explain like what a fairy is in like the fantasy world, but she gets in an altercation and she kills the fairy and she ends up being taken away. That's sort of where I will leave it, and that's like in the first few pages, so it's like not a spoiler, that's just like the basis of it. And then all these things happen and things get wild, and yeah, I really ended up enjoying it. I think I ended up rating it about like a 3.5 to 4 star, only because I feel like the second half, like the second like 58% specifically was where it got good, and then the last like 25% was amazing, but I cannot rate a whole book 5 stars on 25% of it, so I feel like 4 stars is like generous. If it was all like that end, it would have been a 5 star, but it wasn't. But from what I've heard, everyone says like the first book isn't that great and then it just gets better and better. So I'm excited to continue the series. I also finished Coach and I did enjoy it, but I would say it's probably my least favourite of Devney Perry's books so far. And that's mainly because of the male main character. Like, I liked the story, it was really good. I flew through it like I do all of Devney Perry's books. She kind of reminds me of Colleen Hoover in the way that I read all of her books really fast, and like 50 pages feels like you've read 10 pages. Like, I was reading another book last night and I looked and I had read 60 pages and it felt like I'd read 20. So Devney Perry definitely has a way of writing that is so just like addictive and like just rolls off and very easy and quick to read. However, I just didn't love the main character. I think I might have mentioned this earlier in the video. He was very, she is mine and no one can look at her and she's always been mine, even though he hadn't seen her in a long time, and like that just is a big ick for me. She's actually her own person and she gets to choose what she does in her life, and you actually don't own her. So I don't know, that really like just like rubbed me the wrong way a little bit and just sort of ruined a lot of it for me. But overall the story was good. I did enjoy it and I would recommend it. It was good, a good premise. I just didn't love him, so I found myself getting irritated a little bit. And then the third book that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to have to wait until the end of the day because I haven't quite finished it yet. So I read like a few more pages of Addicted to You and a few more pages of Daisy Hay, and then I ended up reading Tattered by Devney Perry, and I'm flying through it. Like I said, I read like 60 pages and thought I had read like 20, and I ended up reading like 130 pages last night throughout my breastfeeding times with Marley, and so I will talk to you about that when I finish it this afternoon. Okay, it is like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Both babies are napping. Papa is in her cot, Marley is on her bouncer. I have on, I don't know if you can tell, but that is like rain and fire simulated noise, and I'm hopefully going to either finish this or just make a big enough dent in it that I'm like close to the end and can at least finish it like tonight when I go to bed. And I am so excited to keep reading because we just had a very big plot twist happen at like 60%, and things are just warming up, which is good because I had got to the stage where I was like, I don't know what else they're going to bring to this story right now, because they had sort of, the couple had like got together, and I was like, what's going to happen next? Like, we've still got a fair way to go of the book. Surely we're not just going to like hear about their life together being fine. And obviously there's always a third act conflict, but I was like not that excited for it because of what the guy had been saying. I was like, oh, it's going to just be like miscommunication almost. But we just got something very juicy happen. So I'm very excited. I'm going to stop talking, start reading. Bye. Okay, please ignore the wiggles in the background, but I'm on page 299 of Timid, and holy crap, something big just happened. This story that I thought was going to be very pure, taken a turn again. Very much enjoying, and I'm like, what the heck? So I just needed to update you in real time that like, holy moly. Okay, this is probably going to be the weirdest place I have ever filmed. I need to finish this video because I feel like it's going to be so long. I finished Timid last night and I think I would rate it like a 4.75, like so close to a 5 star if there was like one section of like 30 pages, which I hated. I don't know. So almost a 5 star. Like, I really enjoyed almost all of it. Are you okay, darling? But yeah, so I feel like I need a recap on like what I've read and what my thoughts were. And I'm just not happy with that. So we started with technically A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I ended up really enjoying. I could only rate it like a 4 max because over half of it I didn't enjoy, or like it's not that I didn't enjoy, but I feel like maybe it's my own fault because I haven't read much fantasy yet, and it was like my first dipping my toes into fantasy. I just had no idea what was going on. I think maybe if I did a reread I would like it more, possibly, because I would just feel more like I could understand earlier what was happening. But in the end I've ended up really enjoying it, and I'm going to continue the series. So let me know if you want me to do reading vlogs on the rest of the series or not. I'm not sure if I should or not, but I do want to do more reading vlogs because I have loved this. I feel like it's so much better than me just like explaining things at the end of a wrap up when I can't really remember what's happened, but I really enjoyed that. Then I also finished Coach by Devney Perry. That is her newest release, and on reflection, I think when I spoke to you guys last time I said maybe like a 3.5 stars, but I feel like I needed longer to digest it before I really said that, because now that I've thought about it more, the only bit I really didn't like was him saying like being crazy ownership over her and being like, she's mine. Like that's the only really thing I didn't like, was that like part of his character. Other than that, thoroughly enjoyed most of the story. So I think it would be a 4, maybe a 4.5, maybe a 4.25 I feel like is a good in between. So thoroughly enjoyed that as well. And then last night I finished Timid, also by Devney Perry, which is the second book in the Lark Cove series, and I loved it. Don't put that in there please, darling. No, thank you, babe. And I ended up loving Timid. As I said, I like blew through the first like 60 or 70 pages, and then there was like a 30-page area where I got like bored, and then I smashed through another 100 pages and loved that. Then, this is like my notes, I said, then I got worried because I was only halfway through and didn't know where the story was going to go. At 60% things heat up with a massive plot twist. I'm very excited to see what's to come. And I ended up loving like the whole end of the story. It ended up being really good. You sort of knew the like third act breakup was going to happen the way it did because of sort of what he had been saying throughout the story anyway, so that like wasn't surprising at all. And then obviously that gets like resolved, and it ended up being really good, very wholesome in the end, and I loved it. So I think I would rate that a 4.5, maybe even a 4.75. It was like almost perfect, but I very much only give 5 stars to a book that I like. Very few books get 5 stars from me. Like it's got to be perfect in my eyes and like no flaws, and like I just have to devour every single second of it. So maybe like a 4.75 because this was very close. But that is my reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have loved filming this, even though you can literally hear me getting sicker and sicker. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you want me to do more of these. If there's any specific books you would like me to do reading vlogs on, whether that's some new fantasy, because I do think I'm going to try and read like a few more fantasy and see if I can delve into the world more, whether that's like the rest of the ACOTAR series or any other like newbie fantasy reads. If you've got any suggestions, I did read Rachel Catherine's video yesterday, watched it. I watched Rachel Catherine's video yesterday on her like how to get into fantasy books, and I enjoyed that, so I've got a few ideas there. And then yeah, if there's any romances or anything you guys want me to read for a reading vlog, let me know. Oh, thanks, beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go because my toddler is now taking my camera, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are not already. I upload new videos all the time, and I'll see you in my next video, which will be very soon. Bye.